Welcome back, everybody. Tyler Talks. Do a quicker video today because I'm going to be honest, I don't think this is going to be a popular video. Currently, for my men's group, I am doing the book of Job, and we have a couple more weeks till we finish up that. And uh, Joe Schaefer and Jay Chambers have always said Job defense is really good. I've never disagreed. It was just tough. Like, if you play it, you got to play it all angels. I don't think really Job's viable. I think there needs to be a little bit more with Job, but um, who knows? Maybe one day. And it was a great deck for a long time, debatable by a lot of people I know. I used to play a bunch. I used to play it all the time. Did very well. Loved it. Missed that deck. So what we're going to talk about is we have a lot of content um, with Micah making videos now. The Booney Tim, myself, and Jaden, we got a lot of content. And something I think we do as a community, not the content creators, as a community, we get to see all this content and we get to say if a deck is really good or not, just purely based on watching it. Just hypothetical situations, deck lists, theorizing. We don't really get to see a lot of it playing out. Or we see a deck and the comparison is to what won nationals. Um, we're not even in November, so I think we should be experimenting and shaping the meta and trying different things. Unless you just want to win all your games, like you could play um, certain top decks and win all your games. I do think people are afraid to change and try other things. We have a very large card pool, and I just don't think people are looking at the greater card pool and really they don't think it's good. A lot of cards. What one good thing I like about one good thing, something great about Jaden's channel is that he plays the deck and it has some sort of gimmick, little combo, takes you off guard. He has something in his deck. And when he does he'll play a game and then he'll do the deck review and then he'll explain what he's trying to do with the deck and all that. I'll be honest, I think if the community saw most of Jaden's decks without him doing like games and showing you that it works, I would say, oh, this. I think most people say, oh, it only works in Jaden's hands, or that only works for Jaden. There's a reason I hear that so much. It's because he's the only person that's trying it. Um, Justin played Goldeneye all year last year. Great deck. Was whooping people. Wasn't super fast. Um, so Jay was Soulhide. There's just decks that are really good that people are afraid to do. Like Jaden against me one time did what was it? Did a put a Roman Emperor Augustus, converted Emperor Augustus, and attacked with them like just full on hand control. Really fun stuff where people would say, "Oh, that's too cute," and a lot of I hear the term "win more" a lot. When you can have a good one-two punch, or it's not win more, it is just make sure you don't come back, or it is an additional attack if I lose something else. I just think we're so critical on decks that we compare them to a Nationals caliber already when we shouldn't in October, and where we say, oh, it's not going to work in a game, or that's just when would you ever need it? It's stuff like that that has made Jaden and Justin and their brother Jordan. I played him a lot. Just great players to where they had these quote unquote gimmicks and stuff that were too cute and could only work for them. They have stuff in their deck that they know when to play it and how to play it and what they need it for. So I think other people should kind of take a clue, not in a mean way, but just other cards are good, and I think we're afraid to explore cards in our card pool. I'm fully guilty of that. Years ago, once we did rotation, I was like, man, we had so many options. We had so much to do in card pool for when it was no rotation. When LOC came out, we had POC, LOC, and everything before that. You could play whatever you want. I don't even know how we got through games with that much cards and how you were able to attack and block. And not to say that we're there anymore, because we had some crazy strong cards back in the day, Angel Under the Oak, Samuel's Edict, that we are getting to a point of a lot of cards in the card pool. And I do think people are just kind of forgetting what else is out there, and they're only looking at it as, can I compete with Nativity and Joshua? And what I'm seeing now is this shift. Instead of can I compete with Nativity and Joshua, the shift I'm talking is that compete is no longer meaning can I block them. It's just can I get a block or two to where I win before they win, instead of can I stop them. So I'll go more into defenses over this year. I posted my Herods and Romans build, the updated version of just playing first. I've always said for Joshua, the Command Conqueror, Brian Jones's created card, that one of the common sayings for that card was the more targets Joshua had, the worse he was. So how do you stop Mary? Have a bunch of targets. How do you stop Joshua? Well, maybe you could play with a little defense. If you can't protect your hand because they take everything, play with more defensive cards and have different blocks. Are you actually taking out Joshua because they can't take your fortresses and they can't pop something in your territory with sword if Joshua isn't there? Can you get rid of Joshua? For some reason, side battles just aren't used. If you get to control a battle and do whatever you want in that battle, and you grant yourself this additional time, which no one talks about, you get all that extra time in a side battle, and you get to do whatever you want, and you get a character that has access to the reserve or ROP, like side battle with Herod Antipas, that's insane. And you can hit their heroes. I don't know. People aren't doing it. I will definitely bring back out the white side battle deck. I might do it with purple. I'm not sure yet, but I really like the white side battle deck. A couple offenses I like with it. You can do so much, and you can really hurt the opponent's offense, and they just simply can't attack. Side battles with Moabites. Not your possession. There you go. It's just really, really good. I love not your possession with Scapegoat too. Just take Scapegoat from reserve and just keep making them discard cards from hand or putting stuff in territory. There's a lot of stuff that people are just trying to push this, let's play as fast as I can. But what they miss is that the turns take so long. When I draw 8, here's all my star abilities, here's all my lost souls, your turn, you do your stars, you do your abilities. Okay, I'm going to go first, and I see by the time they get to that point, we're 8 to 12 minutes into the game. What? That is wild. Hopefully some of that it comes down. I really do think you should draw 8, do stuff very quickly. I love the idea of stars, but just how they've slowed the game down. I miss the days where you draw 8. All right, go. Now you draw 8, and 8 minutes later you're attacking. If that comes down, you actually get a whole nother round, essentially. I think we'll see different stuff being able to play. So yeah, I'm ranting on and off. Let's talk about why is this Job defense any good for the meta? 1, comes out really quick. 2, a lot of people are abandoning. You need to be able to be big. Joshua only has, I think, that's used right now, 1 CBP enhancement. I think it's this one. I don't even know if it's being used. I think the other one that interrupt the battle and take a card. is being used for white silver or gold silver, and that's not CBP. Um, what is it? The Lord's with you. Either way, um, and from a CBP, you have the Mass Battle Winner, and I like to put it in reserve, but it's considered no good. Um, I don't know. I still haven't seen the Joshua version that uses the other captain, and you have CBP enhancements. I think it's just people like to draw so much and have these big bands that they're just not going to do it. But um, Joshua to captain with regardless of protect CBP enhancements, I'm talking captain roots, is insane. Like that is very, very strong. So I don't know. I would like to see that version. I think it'd be really cool because you can come out real quick and just kind of punch them in the mouth with by the numbers and all my stuff works and your doesn't and I have ROP, CBP, and boom, boom. Uh, that's where I just challenge people to go outside the norm. Jay messaged me about a deck and I was like, what makes it different than any others? That's kind of my main thing. Like, what do you have that's different? So I feel like I've tried to explain the Job defense 3 times. I've stopped myself every time. So um, Gomer's a good CBN band. Um, I don't even think anyone knows what Hosea does right now. So it's always going to be CBN. Zophar. So if you control no human heroes, kind of the issue with the Job defense is you have to play Silver or Job. And with Job, you only get Job unless you're playing Angels with them. So it just makes it kind of tough. But I think Angels are good enough on their own to where you can just play Angels in a Job defense. If you control no human heroes, you may exchange a good card from hand with an evil enhancement from reserve or discard pile. I think this would be considered quote unquote cute, and I think it's a very, very good card. I don't know if I said this earlier. I don't need all these curses in the reserve. I can do Annunciation with New Covenant. There's other stuff I could do, but it's okay for now. But I can exchange an evil enhancement with a good card with an evil enhancement from discard pile or reserve. So I can swap stuff into my reserve and just bring it back out. Probably would bring Storehouse in here so I can grab that Wild Ox or Behemoth and just put them right back in there, and then Leviathan can take it back out. And I just get the free exchange from discard pile or from reserve, and then if I need to get this back from discard pile, I can. And this card is so key in this for a reason. I can decrease a hero 33. I can ban to the Job. That's good because I want to bring down some of these heroes, and I can just immediately put them in SI. I'm okay with that because of my Job's wife. And then Eliphaz, protect Jovial characters from the first. And then I get abandoned Job, which negates everything but my Job stuff. So I can protect from the first, decrease you, take something from my discard pile or my reserve, and everything's negated. So I can put you in SI, and then I can have a negate that puts you in SI again. So I can put a Mary Holy Virgin in reserve, and I'm negating everything. She has to play Magnificat. There's nothing else, I don't think, unless Humble is out. We're not even getting into all that. If Humble's out and they have hand advantage, that's different. However, if I have Job's wife, there's no Humble involved right now. I'm negating everything, and I immediately put you in SI. You have to have Magnificat, unless you're Star of Bethlehem protection, and even then, it's like you have to have a huge banding chain, or else it's just a stalemate with this. Because I'm going to negate all your stuff. You can't do anything. And then now the only thing is the protection is CBP, so Magnificat does get through the protection. So they have to play Magnificat. It does get through Job's wife, which brings it back to me. And I can dissent against Moses. I can negate a good enhancement, and then I can get rid of Mary, and then good to go. So Mary will be reserved. The issue is I have to get rid of Bethlehem Stable. Three Woes was Shipwreck, and I'm still going back and forth on Chronicles. If Chronicles should be Shipwreck, I think it will be. Right now, Chronicles is in there because the offenses I'm pushing with all the David Mighty Men and the Warriors and the weapons. I'm also seeing a lot of Buckler. It's equipped heroes, so if I just boop Chronicles of the Kings, they're no longer equipped, so they aren't protected. So I think Chronicles should be Shipwreck to where I can really negate Stable. I don't want Stable out. I want to get rid of Mary. Get rid of her. Same with Joshua. I want to get rid of Joshua. Get rid of the main heroes in the meta right now. Get rid of them, take them, reserve them, and they can't get them back, or they have a tough time getting them back. Like Stone Carriers can go there once. Okay, well, just Zophar can get this from discard pile, but I do want at least 2 curses because I just want to reserve Joshua again. Now you have Stone Carriers and Joshua in there. Bye-bye. So I do want to get rid of the best heroes. And you should be able to get rid of the best heroes, and these offenses are going to struggle. If you Magnificat and I don't have this, well, you interrupted my Job's Wife ability. So guess what? I get to interrupt too. And then I get to play something. Or I have Fire from Heaven that works through it. And I do like to get out that additional negate. And this is a negate. That's an interrupt. Because I don't have to end with Job's Wife. I can go to Leviathan and get out animals. I had Stubborn Heifer in here. I just like Blood Avenger more. Foolish Advice is really good. It's never played. It's rarely ever been played. But a big band against Nativity with their hand protected, or Joshua with their hand protected, and I drop a Foolish Advice on this chain right here. You give me initiative. I could just go this to this. Your hand's protected. And I have 3, 4 Jovial characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just depends on who's all out and I have down. So I could have anywhere from 3 to 7. Your hand's protected. You're an SI. And guess what? If your Magnificat's gone, you got a 3 Woes or Chronicles, which I'm not seeing a lot of people play. You have to stop this Foolish Advice. And people would just say this is not good. So, I don't know. I look at this stuff and I'm like, this is so strong. Especially right now. If I get to play stuff and all your stuff's negated and a lot of enhancements, there's not a lot of CBP on good enhancements. And there's some CBN. We're just not seeing a bunch in the meta. So I like that. Better to be slaves. If I can capture you, you attack me, I capture you, decrease and kill 1, and then I capture 3 humans, and then I beat you in the negate war. You can't do anything about it, and guess what? This is capture up to 3 humans. I don't have, if I'm bigger than you in battle, I can decrease 1, I can capture 3 or evil. Herod's Temple protects from harm, so I could capture 3 of evil and go from there. And then I can just shuffle you away and do it again because of Zophar. Being protected from the next and preventing everything is really, really good. So I'd like to probably bring in Shipwreck. I'd like to have Storehouse. Could play Wicked Lost Soul. I think since I like to band, I could play Wicked Lost Soul. So I think those are options. I love Crowd's Choice in a deck like this because I have a couple key pieces I like with the offense and defense, but Crowd's Choice can come out. I could bring in Sheol, I could bring in Murder's Command and Foreign Wives in reserve. Like there's a couple things I could do to extend the battle. and make this a little better. I don't have Lying Prophet. There's other stuff I could do, but um, this deck is fast. If your deck's slow right now, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can make a 50 card deck and you can really peel through what you need and search a lot real quick. So I won't go too much longer into this. But yeah, I think this is a small, relatively small defense. Malachite Slave, Deceiver, Blood Avenger. You want something quick, turn 1. And then it's really just a big Job band with a bunch of stuff you could play on it. It's not a ton of cards defensively, and you can mix and match the reserve with other stuff. You can bring in Angel of Warning, Annunciation, and you can keep Crowd's Choice and have Annunciation. I like Crowd's Choice and Buckler. With Angel Appears and Angelic Guidance, it just really helps get everything going. So I don't have to have Chamber of Angels as well. Like Chamber can come out, and that could be Storehouse or Beth Stable. So there's a lot of things you can do. But I honestly think people would look at this deck and not get excited about it and think it's C-list, to be honest. It's definitely not S. I don't think it's A. I'd be surprised if people put it in like B because I just don't think they know this is really good. So I don't know. I'm making a bunch of assumptions, that's all. But I do think we should look at the greater card pool and how to get consistency into really any type of deck. And just looking at if you catch your opponent off guard with a quote-unquote cute combo, it's really good. So from here, when we draw 8, I already have a 2-person band with a draw 2 and a negate to back it up. Chamber out, or I can go Joshua's Covenant, and I can get out a Michael, or I could get out a Captain, and I can just go Captain with Holy Ground and have just a 10-10 push with a negate, protect from the next, with Chamber out. So there's a lot I can do here. I think having those negates in hand and having Chamber to where we're not really worried. I'd rather just get the draw 2 up front. Some people would hold that in hand to have the negate in hand, but then I for sure miss out on the draw 2 if they block with something else, and I do have a negate and evil card. So I could come through. The first thing we want to do is Expatriator, and he wants to draw 2 and then ban to Gabriel. And why? Because we could have drawn into Legion of Angels, which we still could have banned it to, but with Gabriel now we can reserve an evil card from their deck, so we want Gabriel at the end. So we give us the option to where if we drew into a Legion, we could still go Gabriel to Legion, and if we didn't draw anything else, that we just go to Gabriel, and nothing for us to negate. And we could take a Silver Gospel card from deck, or we could reserve an evil card from opponent's deck. I will gladly reserve an evil card from their deck, knowing that I have a negate, an evil card to back it up turn 1. They could chump me right here. They could Hair to the Agrippa and toss. Like they could block turn 1. That's okay. From here, I don't have any Lost Souls. If I did, I still have the Decrease, the Interrupt, and the Reap the Whirlwind. So I would put them more than likely in some sort of initiative spot, which is really good with the Mask of Arrogance. They would have to make a Lost Soul there, which against Nativity, they probably would. Other decks have a little bit more tough time generating a Lost Soul on that turn 0, turn 1. From here, I have Michael, Captain. Michael, Captain, and it's protected. And I have a CBN band. So, I would like to turn this over and exchange a card, by Gomer and get out Michael. Oh, sorry, it's a Joshua card. Get out Joshua. Get out Captain Tyler. And then I don't have Michael Captain because I was thinking I could go to Michael. He's a Daniel card, Tyler. You should know that. And so now my Victoria's being a little bit of a misplay there where I'm trying to think and explain with the new deck. Oh, well, I still have Faith Unbowed. And to be honest, I still have a draw one with initiative. So there's a lot of things I can do here. If I'm afraid of like dominance, I can Faith Unbowed. I do like the idea of having protection and drawing, or I can just put down Captain. Yeah, still nothing with Faith Unbowed. Darn. A little bit of miscue on my part. So I get to band up the 3 Angel Warriors, which is Expatriator. I would not get to draw 2. Expatriator gets the CBI, and I get to interrupt Captain. So, and he gets to band either way. And then Gabriel comes in. I could bring in Victoria's Being. I don't really have a ton of stuff I like there. Just kind of overshot that one. And put him in chamber. Whoops. And draw 2. And there we go. We got the Legion. Go to Gabriel, to Legion. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're either trying to get that new covenant that can get us to Michael or Joshua's covenant. So we only need like 1 or 2 cards and we just boom, Michael the Captain. Or we have other stuff to where boom, we go into a 2 to 3 hero Legion of Angels. Really what we're trying to do and just put a bunch of pressure. So we can draw, we should draw 5 off of this. I don't see 5. How much did I draw? We'll draw an extra. 1. I thought I already had Gomer. Oh well. Oh, I drew 2 off of this. And then brought in, and one of them was Legion. And Legion should draw 3. I don't know. Sorry, everyone. Now they have to stop a potential protection, and if they're not protected, then I get to get out a dominant from my deck. If they come in with a protected person and they have like a Herod with Herod's Temple, then I can just go to a 3 woes and negate the temple. It's really not a big deal. If not, I could play Glory of the Lord. Glory of the Lord, I also want to say something. I'm not seeing that used to a highly efficient by everyone. They can come out with a big band and you could play Seized by Babylon, the Better to Be Slaves, and you can capture all but one of their heroes in battle and play Glory of the Lord. Or you can capture one of their heroes in battle, 2 of their guys in territory, or if it's seized, capture whatever you got to do to get whatever you can and then just drop Glory. You took their heroes and discarded the rest. So make sure you take the ones that you need to, like Mary and Joshua, and then make it to where the others are discarded. Depending on stable and all that changes things, but that's why we want to have Shipwreck in here. So from here, I think we're good to just kind of put down stuff. We have a bunch. If we have Crowd's Choice, Gomer, Bildad, we could Crouch Choice to another. Uh, I'll assume at this point they had a Hopper or Malachite Slave, something. And if I want to get the band real big, it's really just a matter of which one do I want. I like the protection. I don't feel like I need Zophar right now. I have enough enhancements in my hand to where I would Gomer, protection, Bildad, decrease, Job's wife, and now it's their initiative, and I've got a 28 defense, and I'm decreasing you 3, so I'm a 3, 6, 9. You can look at it as like I'm a 12 strength because I'm decreasing you, so I'm a 12 strength and with a 28 toughness. Pretty good, and I still have a negate and underdeck in my hand that works through Job. Not a lot can get through that. That's kind of what we want. Always discard an evil card from the reserve. We really want to hit those in the battle cards because we don't have that You Will Remain in here. We can discard an evil card from hand to draw 2. Depending on what they're playing, we can discard Guardians or Holy Grail. Like it's fine. One of those can go. So then we don't really need anything else Joshua wise. We can mold our hand with I Am Creator. And I don't know why people just don't play this card. But yeah, we could absolutely like Son of God, and we could flip that up if we don't love our hand. And what's really good is when you flip your hand, I think people forget, like, if you have Prosperity and Grumbled and Shepherds, you draw into Prosperity, boom, you just flipped your hand and you got 2 extra cards, essentially. So I think it's really good. Get you out of a pinch. So from here, we have Daniel to Michael to Captain. We have our big band. We have our 3 woes. We got a bunch of stuff. And we can just draw a lot. Probably go to him, then him, then him. And they have to respond to a very hard to block band. So if they have Temple, really just negate their Temple and get out of the toss, and then I just have to get through their protection. If it's Herod Agrippa, can't really do much against chumps because of Guardians from Glory. I can get through protection this way. If you give me initiative, usually I'm going to take the draw 3 because I can still go into Expelled and get the draw 2. I don't know, it's not bad. If you're protecting Lost Souls and you're able to stop the Temple, Angels just kind of get through at one point or another. They're going to have enough. And that could go anyway. I love this guy that's hidden. He'll just chip away at some stuff. And we should, I mean, it was just weird that we didn't get Angel Appears or Angelic Guidance till late. Usually we get out Res Revealer, Ministering Spirit really easily. We had Great White Throne, but what was that, turn 3? We're essentially decked out. Not essentially, but I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards left in deck that aren't Lost Souls. And then from here, we just have a big old defense. Something I like is Blood Avenger when I get this card in my hand, so I guess I do need to bring in Storehouse. One card I like is Blood Avenger. Play Better to Be Slaves. Capture 3 of their humans and just die. Discard the person in battle. Or, once again, you capture people in battle to where there's only one left. You don't transfer initiative. And then you just die. So, it's really good. You're essentially getting rid of 4 humans in battle. Or you take the Nativity ones or the Joshua ones and you leave Captain and you die. Even if you have to give up a lost soul, if it's like Captain and Lord's Army, you take the Joshua and the Caleb and whatever it may be, and then you die. Blood Avenger pops Captain, and they've got, a Lord's Army left or something. So I think there's a lot of ways to block. I just think people are having a tough time with it. At this point, we have the entirety of the band. The band's all here, so we got protection, we decrease, and we can go in and we can exchange. I don't see us being able to play Foolish Advice, but it's really nice to have. And then we finish with Job's wife, and now we have this massive band where I have a CBN, well, that's a potential CBN, a CBP, Anna Chronicles to back up this band. And I also get Leviathan to where I can take an Evil Job card from reserve. So I probably should have gotten something else because Leviathan can take this, but I could have both of them. Or I take the animal and just have it for next turn to where I could Zophar. Really good defense. It's hard to do videos that are more geared towards being able to block when my videos are purely deck review, and even though I was bashing it, they were mostly hypothetical, right? So most of this is from I think this is good, this defense is good, and it should be looked at. Brown's good right now. I think there's like 2 people playing Heyman and Brown. I put decks out there with Brown before. I think they're in a good spot, but I think Job's wife defense is quietly very good. And when you have Lawless and Darkness, Amalekite Slave, Lost Souls that draw and shape your hand, and Deceiver, you can quickly get this band out. And I think with a Blood Avenger turn 1, and a potential like Reap the Whirlwind or something, like if you can get a block or 2 early, you should have the whole Job's band out with a Gomer and just cruise. So I don't do too much. It's mostly look at the whole card pool. Don't be afraid to try stuff. If your deck isn't fast, post it. Say, hey, I want this thing down to 50. And I want it to be more consistent. And listen to advice when you get it. They'll say, hey, we'll cut all this stuff. Let's get it quick. And when your deck is an engine and it starts working like it should be to where it's getting what you need, you can have the greatest deck in the world and it could be 63 cards. But if you don't get to what you need, sorry, it won't matter. You got to be able to replenish right now. Offenses are really aggressive. You got to be able to block and move on to the next turn. You don't have to your blocks don't have to be 30 seconds. I've talked about that before. Get a quick block and move on. But so long as you're progressing the game and you're stopping their heroes, you should be good. I won't keep rambling at the end of videos like I always do. Like I said, I don't think this one's going to be super popular because it is a Job defense with angels. But I think there's a lot of good stuff in here. Just don't look at the meta and say, well, that's what it is for a reason. No, look at everything. There's plenty of time. We're not seeing anything with Pot of Mana. We're not seeing anything with Holy Holies. I don't know. You could easily throw Holy Holies in a Joshua deck with Caleb and flip that thing up as needed. So Glory Lord flips up Holy Holies too. That's a very sneaky play. I just think there's a lot of stuff that you can do. People aren't incorporating or aren't looking at. So that's the whole point of the channel, is to show you different things and challenge that mindset to create the meta thoughts of how I build a deck and why and what I choose. So that's all for this video. I do appreciate it. Don't think I'll have another one this week. And then next week I'll probably talk about the Herods and Romans and start trying to show some more defenses that can stop some of these offenses. So until then, thank you all.